The 9 orders of angels. Why the Bible's heavenly beings look nothing like we imagine.
For centuries, paintings, movies, and children's books have shown angels as gentle humans with soft wings and glowing halos. Beautiful, peaceful, almost harmless. But what if that image is completely wrong? What if the beings that stand closest to the throne of God look nothing like humans at all? Creatures with 6 wings covering their faces, living wheels covered in countless eyes, and celestial beings so overwhelming that whenever humans encountered them, the first words they heard were always the same: do not be afraid. Tonight, we step beyond art and imagination to uncover the true celestial hierarchy described in the Bible, the mysterious 9 orders of angels that form heaven's divine structure. And by the end of this journey, you may never look at angels the same way again. The idea of angelic hierarchy did not originate in modern fantasy or medieval fiction. It emerged from centuries of biblical interpretation, theological scholarship, and ancient texts that attempted to understand the beings described throughout Scripture. From the fiery seraphim of Isaiah's vision, in biblical theology, they also serve as protectors and guardians. Psalm 91:11 declares, "To the mysterious cherubim guarding Eden, to the archangels delivering messages that changed human history." Early Christian theologians organized these beings into a sacred structure, a celestial order of 9 ranks, each with a unique role in the divine kingdom. But these ranks were not created for curiosity. They reveal something deeper. They reveal how heaven itself is ordered and how divine power flows from God into creation. To understand that structure, we must begin at the level closest to humanity. The angels who walk unseen beside us. The lowest choir, angels. At the lowest level of the celestial hierarchy are the beings we most commonly call angels. Ironically, these are the only ones that frequently appear in human form. Their mission is simple yet profound. They are the messengers of God to humanity. One of the most famous examples appears in the Gospel of Luke. The angel Gabriel appears to a young woman named Mary and delivers a message that would change the world forever. Luke 1:26-28 describes the moment.
God sent the angel Gabriel to Nazareth, to a virgin pledged to be married to a man named Joseph.
The angel went to her and said, "Greetings, you who are highly favored. The Lord is with you." In this moment, the boundary between heaven and earth briefly opens. But these angels are not simply divine messengers. In biblical theology, they also serve as protectors and guardians. Psalm 91:11 declares, "For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways." If angels exist to guide and protect humanity, then what beings exist above them? Archangels and principalities, the commanders of heaven. Above ordinary angels stand beings with far greater authority, the archangels. The word itself comes from the Greek archangelos, meaning chief messenger. Unlike ordinary angels, archangels do not deliver everyday messages. They intervene in moments of cosmic significance. The Bible explicitly names only one archangel, Michael. In the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation, Michael appears not as a messenger but as a warrior. Revelation 12:7 tells us, "Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon." This image reveals something startling. Heaven is not static. It is a kingdom with defenders, battles, and order.
Above the archangels are the principalities. These beings are described by theologians as guardians over nations, civilizations, and historical movements.
In Daniel 10, the prophet describes an encounter with an angel who says he was delayed by the prince of Persia, suggesting spiritual beings assigned to entire kingdoms. If this interpretation is correct, then history itself may unfold
Within a hidden spiritual conflict beyond human sight.
the powers and virtues govern the hidden forces of the cosmos.
Moving higher into the celestial hierarchy, we encounter two ranks,
Rarely depicted in art, powers and virtues. These angels are not concerned with individuals or nations. They govern cosmic balance. In theological tradition, the powers act as the guardians against chaotic forces.
They maintain the spiritual boundaries between heaven and the darker realms of rebellion. Some scholars interpret the phrase in Ephesians 6:12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, authorities, and powers of this dark world," as a reference to these spiritual structures. Above them are the virtues. These beings are believed to channel divine energy into the physical universe. In medieval theology, they were sometimes called the angels of miracles. They regulate the movement of heavenly bodies, the rhythms of nature, right? And the unfolding of God's will through the laws of creation. Which leads us to the final rank of the second sphere, the dominions. Dominions, thrones, and cherubim, the architects of order. The dominions stand between the lower angelic choirs and the highest celestial beings.
their role is not to interact with humanity directly. Instead, they govern the angels below them.
They are the administrators of heaven's vast hierarchy. But above them we encounter one of the most mysterious orders in Scripture, the thrones. The name itself suggests stability and authority. These beings are described as living embodiments of divine justice and judgment. Some theologians associate them with the strange vision in the book of Ezekiel, a vision that has puzzled readers for thousands of years. Ezekiel describes wheels intersecting wheels, covered in eyes, moving wherever the Spirit moved them. These are sometimes interpreted as the Ophanim, the angelic thrones. Their countless eyes symbolize perfect awareness of God's justice. Yet even these mysterious beings are not the highest. Above them stand the cherubim, and here is where our cultural imagination completely collapses. Cherubim are not chubby babies with wings. In Genesis 3:24, after Adam and Eve are expelled from Eden, God places cherubim with flaming swords to guard the entrance to the tree of life. In Ezekiel's visions, these beings possess 4 faces: a human, a lion, an ox, and an eagle, 4 wings, and bodies covered in eyes. They represent the fullness of creation worshiping God. Yet even they are not the closest to the throne. The Seraphim, the burning ones. At the very summit of the celestial hierarchy stand the most mysterious beings described in the Bible. The Seraphim. Their name comes from the Hebrew word seraph, meaning to burn. They are literally the burning ones. Isaiah 6:2 describes the prophet's vision of God's throne room. Above him were seraphim, each with 6 wings. With 2 they covered their faces, with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they were flying. Why cover their faces? Because even these beings cannot fully look upon the absolute glory of God. And what do they do in God's presence? They proclaim a single eternal declaration. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of His glory. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
In Hebrew tradition, repeating something 3 times signifies ultimate perfection. The seraphim exist in a state of eternal worship.
They are the closest beings to the infinite holiness of God.
Climax revelation.
So what does this hierarchy reveal?
The 9 orders of angels are not simply fantasy creatures. They form a cosmic structure of divine governance.
From angels who walk beside humanity, to archangels who wage war against darkness, to celestial beings that regulate the universe itself, and finally, to the seraphim who exist only to worship the Creator. Heaven, according to biblical tradition, is not chaotic. It is perfectly ordered, a kingdom where every being has a purpose. Every role has meaning, and every level points back to the same center, the throne of God. Spiritual insight. But perhaps the most profound lesson of the celestial hierarchy is not about angels at all. It is about order, purpose, and closeness to the divine. The higher a being stands in heaven, the less it focuses on power and the more it focuses on worship. The seraphim, the highest beings in heaven, they do not command armies. They simply proclaim the holiness of God, which suggests a surprising truth.
The closer a being draws to God, the more it becomes consumed not with authority, but with awe. And perhaps that is the message the Bible quietly whispers to humanity. Our ultimate purpose is not dominance, not status, not power, but to recognize the same truth the seraphim proclaim endlessly. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. So the next time you see a painting of a gentle angel with soft wings, remember this. Behind that peaceful image lies a far deeper and stranger reality. A universe filled with burning beings, living wheels, cosmic guardians, and heavenly warriors. A hidden hierarchy that has existed since the dawn of creation. Watching, guarding, worshiping, and perhaps, even now, standing closer to you than you realize. If you want to explore more of the mysteries hidden inside the Bible, the forgotten texts, ancient visions, and unanswered questions, subscribe and join us on the next journey. Because the deeper we look into Scripture, the more we realize something extraordinary. The Bible is not just a book of faith. It is a window into a universe far more mysterious than we ever imagined.